I'm Tony.
I'm Alex.
And now we're going to talk to you about Ubisoft's conference at E3 2010. It started really cool. That was epic with Children of Eden.
Mizuguchi just walked out and just going like this. And actually, it was more like with one hand, and then he closed his hand to shoot.
Lasers and...
The game is
Res 2.
Yeah, it's Res 2.
You can't lose with that.
The problem is that I'm not sure if the aiming will be precise enough.
And I really want to see if they actually have a version that's not using Kinect. I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but, you know, I can wish.
If anything, based on what I saw earlier today...
This is the hardcore Kinect.
This is the hardcore Kinect game. And it's unfortunate that it's the only hardcore Kinect game I can point out. Because even Joyride was pretty blah. Maybe we'll see more of the conference.
Well, how'd the rest of the conference go? Next was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
I'm not a fan of Assassin's Creed, but it's a big series, so I give it credit. And unfortunately, the creator left, so I don't know what's going on with that.
It looked like more of a 2.5 rather than actually continuing the story of the main overarching story. It looks like it's just more of the second, what happened after Assassin's Creed 2. And also it adds the multiplayer that should have been in the second game, but got cut at the last moment.
So it's a bit of a shaky thing. And I'm afraid that Ubisoft will essentially crash this series into the ground within the next 2 years, because they're going to keep milking this thing.
Yeah, that's a worry.
And Shaun White skateboarding, moving from snowboarding to skateboarding.
Now, what's cool about this is you actually revitalize the world you're in, creating a world perfect for skaters, and you can actually bend the world around you, like make walls grow out of the ground, or make a rail extend outward like a branch. It's really cool, and it really makes you want to explore.
I think Tony just pretty much took every single word of my mouth and proceeded to release it from his. Don't think too hard into that.
And then the conference took a weird turn.
A weird turn.
Yeah.
First things first.
I mean, I'm alright with a few now and again, but not in real life. I mean, this is laser tag.
Yes. No, the game is called
Battle Tag, but
it's actually
a PC
laser
game.
tag. It's a laser tag product that essentially you have the laser gun
and this devices.
Then you click it, and it fills your clip, and you start shooting at people with real laser guns.
I mean, that's a cool idea. Laser guns are nice, but...
What are they, Tiger Electronics?
How are you supposed to run away from... Like, it says you're supposed to do it with a PC, and you have to go outside, and they show people going outside and doing it. So what happens? You go all join together, and alright, you go first, and I'll catch up, and... It's strange.
It's a very absurd thing, really, for a gaming conference. Then gets weirder, almost to the point where litigation will be the concern.
Energy.
Energy happens to be the Wii Vitality sensor for the PC.
Created by Ubisoft.
You put it on your finger, and then you actually do exactly what Mr. Iwata said yet last year. You take slow breaths to make the character move along the pathway. And, of course, it's a PC product, because I'm pretty sure Nintendo would not allow that sort of thing from getting through.
I'm surprised that they didn't actually support Nintendo's Vitality sensor. Instead they decided, well, let's just copy it and make a new one.
Well, you see, the funny thing about that is that I wouldn't be surprised if they are making, in fact, an energy game for Wii or WiiWare. Then we get to connect with motion sports. Motion sports.
Yeah.
Do we have to keep talking about this?
Why do we have to keep talking about motion sports? Listen, I already got enough sports games with motion controllers. We don't need more of them.
Especially when they have commercials that are as bad as the trailer we saw today. Then we got... Is this right, Tony? Is that Your Shape Fitness Evolved? Didn't we just talk about that earlier?
Yes, it is. They had the exact same demonstration again.
They kind of threw in a few things here and there, but they even had the exact same dialogue with the woman going, I
"Oh,
want to
look,
take off my sweater.
You can see my sweater in it." I was like, I already saw this. Why are we still talking about it?
Then things start getting a little bit better. We start with Raving Rabbids Travel in Time.
Yes.
Too bad it was just a
trailer
with no actual gameplay footage.
Well, I'm kind of worried because is it going to be the minigame trailer game that we've known in the past, or is it going to be an adventure like the last installment?
That's a thought that I would like to figure out, and unfortunately, I doubt we're going to see it until either on the show floor or never.
Yeah.
And Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
This game is all the Ghost Recon games we know and love.
Yep.
Except now you have cloaking abilities and high-tech objects, because we're in the future. That means apparently the ocean doesn't exist either.
Wait, it disappeared?
It's gone.
Lost and found.
There's either global warming or the oil spills got out of hand. Anyway, the game seemed rather easy, though, because like, every time you walked around, you're completely encompassed in this cloak.
Even if you have a shadow, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Maybe they were just making it easy on purpose. And then there's Driver San Francisco, with one explosion.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah, that explosion was way out of line, like Michael Bay.
Michael Bay! Anyway, Driver seems to be back in line with the main character of the first game, except this time he's apparently in a coma, so he has the ability to warp out into this ether world and go into another car whenever he chooses.
Yes, and chase down the evil convict that put him in the coma.
Which doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it looks like a pretty good, clean game.
It looks like a clean game. I just have my reservations, because the last few Driver games have been pretty blah.
But if it's like the first one, you know,
It'd be pretty good. I don't know, I never played Driver, so...
And then some other future projects were announced.
These means these games could be either games coming out very end of this year or very far into 2011.
The first one was Project Dust,
who was done by Eric Chachi. And in case you don't know who Eric Chachi is, he made a game called Another World, or Out of This World, depending on where you were living at the time. It's a very big game. It was on Amiga, it was on PlayStation, Sega Saturn.
It's a cult classic.
It's a cult classic game, and then he left the industry, and then now he's coming back for this game.
It has something to do with you, and this game has something to do with you The game has something to do with you actually changing the environments.
Yeah, or it changing the environments rapidly. It looks like black and white from our perspective. No gameplay actually was demonstrated.
It was just more of a, this is the project name.
Yeah, and unfortunately we won't see it into 2011 anyway, somewhere!
Oh, well, next year.
Then came an interesting thing called Rayman Origins.
Yeah, this was awesome!
This was probably the best game they had there, but we're going to talk about that in a sec. Rayman Origins was made using a program that allows people to upload their artwork and then have them actually become part of a game.
Yeah, and this game looked beautiful. Everything was animated,
beautiful
characters, cell animations,
and shortly after the conference was over, we looked it up. It seems to be that the game is going to be an episodic game on Xbox Live, Arcade, and PlayStation Network, as expected because of the HD graphics. Well, good luck to them. Then
I'll be there.
You may not know Nadeo, but Nadeo is the company that created one of the biggest PC racers on the planet. The game, Trackmania. The biggest thing about this is Mania Planet.
Yeah, and so basically, Trackmania is you go to the game and you make your own tracks and you race for the high score, and everyone on the internet tries to beat you. And now what they're doing is they're making other types of Mania games, such as Shoot Mania and Quest Mania for first-person shooters and RPGs respectively.
And they're also making a Trackmania 2. Of course, that Trackmania 2 is going to have a beta coming very shortly, and then after that, Shoot Mania, and then even further than that,
yeah, Quest Mania after that. Now we're going to have a format that encompasses all of these manias into one single entity on your PC.
Called Mania Planet.
And I hope we get on that.
Unfortunately, it's Ubisoft, which means DRM could be crammed up the ass.
Yeah, you might have to make sure your internet's accessible.
Then, finally, for no apparent reason whatsoever,
Michael Jackson. It wasn't really, like, they didn't show anything. There was just people dancing on the... There's people dancing.
There's people dancing. Apparently it's a dancing game that's going to be on all consoles, even DS and PSP.
That's going to work. But apparently you learn how even do the moonwalk and all that stuff and all that cool stuff with Michael and everything.
I totally expected this, though, after Just Dance. Well, overall, Ubisoft's conference had a very jittery...
There was really high highs and really low lows.
And when we mean really low lows...
I've been taking other people's ideas.
That's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
But we did choose 3 games that most interested us, but we couldn't pick one because all 3 of them we have some reservations. First things first, Child of Eden.
This one was a visual experience. You just have to experience. I mean, that's my
experience. It looked really good. Unfortunately, I think that there's a big problem with the controls. So I hope that they have a more traditional control scheme in the future. The second game is Shaun White Skateboarding.
Now, you might not understand why we're doing this, but I was a big fan of the Tony Hawk game back in the day, before it became really complex. And this thing just screams out... Wait, I keep saying screams.
Yeah.
This thing just... an explosion of creativity. Something that the Blob was creating.
Yeah, it was a very wide open game.
And in fact, you could alter it and everything.
Yeah, that's very good too.
I want to see this.
We're not sure how big the game is.
With the content and overall how it controls.
We were this close to getting the snowboarding games over the past 2 years, so this could be the year we jump over. And the third game happens to be Rayman Origins.
This thing just was perfect, like animation-wise and everything.
It's an artistic masterpiece ready to come out.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see more games like this. Why can't we get more games like this?
The problem I have with it is I'm not sure if it's going to yield something that's actually a good game in the end. It's just going to be a beautiful painting that has nothing behind it.
And I want to see how much episodic content they're going to do and how much it's going to cost, etc., etc.
Yes. And that summarizes Ubisoft. Coming up next is Nintendo, followed by Sony's conferences. So expect a lot of discussion.
That's going to be 4 hours of us just sitting down watching stuff.
That's your cute